All right, guys, welcome back to the show. And we're going straight to our next. I mean, even if you're not an economist, you have to be able to understand the trends so you can look for ways to make money, because money is hard to get. And we're going to be talking a bit about this CBN ban. And I was really wanting to understand from Nkechi Alade, who's a consultant, she's a coach, she's into the whole entrepreneurship with women and all of that. Glad to have you on this show.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's good to have you.
Yes, you already been giving us.
No, we're
like
almost
those...
caught on here talking about the policies and how things are supposed to be done. I was telling my colleague just before you walked in that I'm not an economist. I have I studied chemistry.
Oh, wow,
so I have no idea whatsoever. But common sense sometimes has to prevail in anything that you do. And I was telling her, for me, looking at the policy, I don't know, you're the expert, you tell us, but I have my own reservations based on what I can see, how I deal. I've got a business, how I run it. But first of all, educate people on the new policy. What is it all about? Because people here really change CBN. How do they relate? So tie it in for us.
Okay, so before this policy, the CBN was giving BDCs $20,000 every week at the rate of 410 naira.
Okay.
What that meant was that they didn't have to source for dollars from any other place apart from the CBN. So it means that you're buying at 410 and then you're selling to the retail users at 500 naira per dollar without actually doing anything to improve the dollar, right? So CBN is like, hey, this is actually getting out of hand. We're going to stop giving you guys dollar. If you want dollar, source it yourselves. Everybody goes to the commercial banks and get dollars. Okay. So that's actually what is happening now. It's not like they haven't shut down BDCs. BDCs are working. However, they have stopped issuing out new licenses. So nobody can become a new BDC operator right now. Okay. And even those who were in the process, they're going to give them back their initial deposit of 35 million naira. Because it's like, let us even control the 5,000 BDCs that are currently existing. There are over 5,000 BDCs according to the CBN. That's quite a number, So that's really what the policy is about for now.
Okay, so let me, go ahead, Tom.
So what is the impact really on the average person? Because I know a lot of people go to these people to get money instead of going to the banks because the bank, they don't have access to it at the bank, or they prefer the rates on the black market. So what is the bad sides towards businesses and people? Okay,
so it's not as if they don't want to go to the banks. It's just that the banks have a very long process. Sometimes you need cash quickly. You can easily just walk into the closest BDC and then just get dollars for naira and move on. It's more expensive, so trust me, it's not the best way to get dollar, but it's usually the fastest way to get things done. So now what it means is that if you need dollars, you either have to pay the high rates the BDCs will charge you, or you go to the bank, you get a form, you wait and hope that you get the dollars that you're requesting for within record time. Oh my goodness. Because for the business owner, you need to do transactions within a particular period of time. And again, we hope that the banks don't have this called preferential treatment, where maybe a particular set of customers are being given the dollars while other people are giving maybe 10% of what they're asking for or 5% of what they're asking for. Although CBN has said, hey, there's an email you can send us, there's a phone number you can call, but how many of us are going to send emails and all of that? But that's really the implication for the average man, the average business owner. That's what we're going to have to face now.
I was relating to you off air, Tolu. A friend of mine was trying to pay her school fees in a Canadian university this time last year, and it was a bit difficult because the banks didn't have dollars to help her out. She had to do the black market thing. Someone sell dollars to her, Canadian dollars in Canada, and all the back and forth. But let's talk about checkmating. How will the CBN checkmate this bureau de change now that they're not in any way bankrolling them? There should be some system in place so that, like you said, we won't be paying dollars at the rate of 1,000 when CBN is having 500. So how are they going to checkmate that? Hey, you guys can source your, but don't go beyond. Is there a policy that would see that happen?
Definitely the CBN is trying. This policy is really to regulate the whole BDC, right? To make sure that everybody is guided. There were policies in the past. You're not supposed to sell more than a particular amount to one customer. You're not supposed to have X amount of more dollars every week. But they flouted those rules. That's why this policy came about. So yes, the CBN, actually when you go to BDC, I don't know how many of us know, but you're actually supposed to tender your ID card.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to write your name. But the question is how many people were doing this? So CBN could no longer track its dollars. It's like you're just giving out dollars, but you don't know where it's going to. And then the economy is not improving. So it's like, what's really going on here? We need to really stop these guys to see what is going on. And if they've come up with this rule, what it means is that the amount of dollars BDCs will have will be really, really, really limited in comparison to what they had before. And the CBN is like, opening their eyes to watch them even closer and say, okay, you guys, most of them are going to shut down. So what's going to happen is that
It's
they already
streamlined.
exactly
So my problem is the access to dollar will be pretty limited.
very limited, very limited. Because you know,
No, but if you're taking, it's like, I don't want to say the system of robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I'm looking at it this way: wouldn't the banks have more
Monopoly.
dollars?
They will have more monopoly.
Not
in the
even that,
dollar.
but have more dollars to play with. Hence, you and I would not have to go through the hassle of
Is
trying
it
to
still
get.
viable?
I
Because
don't
we're
know.
going to
Would
be
that-
That's the
directly
idea.
more
That's
to
the
bank.
idea.
that's
really.
the idea. Because you know, CBN has said dedicate a teller to Forex, do this, do that. But I would also suggest take these things online. Let people be able to apply for dollars online,
Absolutely.
get approvals online if they need. Because the amount of people that need dollars will overwhelm you. Most people need dollars to buy goods and services that are coming from outside of the country because they do not have these things here. So yes, we need to sort of find ways where we start to export more to improve the dollar. Because what's happening is that the dependence is on oil. So to improve the dollar, we need to make sure we have other means of, you know, gaining dollar as a country. We cannot keep on depending just on oil. We need to patronize our local brothers and sisters, you know, more as well. Because if not, it's going to lead to loss of jobs. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Because if one person had, let's say, 10 branches of their bureau de change, and they are no longer having that kind of influence, they might shut down 8 and leave only 2. So what happens to the other people that were working in those 8? They're going to lose their jobs,
Absolutely.
right? And they're going to come back to this already large pool of unemployed Nigerians. So what's going to happen there? It means that the small business owner that was maybe buying dollar at 500 might now be buying it for 700 naira,
this is
and it's going to increase their prices, and the cost of living is going to increase, and the purchasing power is not increasing as well. So yes, the initial effect might be difficult, but hopefully maybe
long
things
run.
will ease
But let's
out
talk
as
about
we go.
timing.
I'm going to look at it from the perspective of people who might have dollars in possession, who are necessarily not BDC people, who might be the ones to now be in that business and now say, go into the deep market. You know, so how does that work? I'm looking at it from that perspective because they might be the ones that will now be the ones people come to for money.
Well, the truth is that it's business. Some people have been hoarding dollars for a while.
Some people have it their soccer away.
On their dollar account.
Some people have been hoarding
You
dollars.
On
understand?
their dollar account.
Which is what the government has been. Because some people, when the dollar just goes up a bit, they quickly change their naira to dollars and keep, because they're like, the naira might fall again. So those kind of people might just say, hey, it's time to do business. I'm not a BDC operator, but I'm a layman.
So how do you now
Wouldn't that be-
control that?
wouldn't that be
That's the kind of market that you cannot even control, which is what the CBN is trying to make sure doesn't happen. They're trying to reduce the amount of people that are hoarding dollars. Dollars, we shouldn't be hoarding it now. Because what happens is that it keeps on putting pressure on the naira, keeps on falling. Naira keeps on falling, it keeps falling. When they stopped, the broader policy was about 515 naira. As of Friday, I think it was about 525. So what that means is that the naira keeps falling. Hopefully it gets to a point where it starts to rise again. But for now, you know, it's still new. People are not sure what is going on. So there's a lot of panic buying. There's a lot of uncertainty. So definitely that's leading to a lot of chaos in that
Let's talk
area.
about timing.